AITA for pouring my husband's sweet tea down the drain and marching out. I lost my part-time job due to COVID and I've basically become a little housewife. I'm fine with that, as that's always been my role in my relationship anyways. It's just less hard to keep up with now. I'm also in school for nursing, but obviously I'm doing that from home. My husband works full-time and works hard. His commute to work is very long, over an hour each way. We go running together every day, and because I know it's a lot of stress for him, we meet 20 minutes away from our home so he doesn't have to come home and drive back out. He calls me when he's 20 minutes away, and I leave. Today, I was 7 minutes late as I had to turn off all the lights and get myself together before leaving the house. When I got there, he copped a major attitude with me for being late. Refused to even speak to me for being 7 minutes late. I tried to explain that I had to put my shoes on and turn out the lights, but he wouldn't talk to me. The run was very awkward, and when we got home, he said that he felt he had every right to be angry, and stomped off upstairs. I've had a lot of pent-up feelings about the fact that he has always expected me to be at his beck and call. It's like he thinks the whole world revolves around his time schedule because I lost my job. Anytime he's hungry, thirsty, he yells my name. He doesn't even serve his own plates anymore. It's like he thinks I just sit in the dark with my hands folded, waiting for him to call. At this point, I knew he was being ridiculous, and I was just so upset that I did something that may make me the asshole. When he came downstairs, I told him that he could make his own dinner, his own lunch tomorrow for work, and I looked him straight in the eye as I poured the pitcher of sweet tea I make him every week down the drain, and I said, "You can make your own sweet tea too, you ungrateful brat." And I walked out and drove to my mom's house. So, AITA for that overreaction. I was just so annoyed. Update: I deleted my edits because I wanted to do an update, as I see a lot of kind, wonderful people so concerned about my well-being. I want to thank each and every one of you for being so supportive. I don't have any friends anymore, and all the messages and comments have made me feel like I have a support group. For now, I am staying at my parents' indefinitely. My mom is helping me write a list of all the reasons I'd want to stay, and all the reasons I'd like to leave. I have always been a very independent person, and I think I've been lying to myself about my situation for a long time. I called him to tell him I wouldn't be coming home, and he didn't really seem to care much, which did hurt a lot. Either way, I am going to get through this, and I'm gonna get my degree. For those of you concerned about kids, don't worry, I have an IUD. Again, thank you all so much. Your love and support means more to me than I can express. Okay, so Teresa lot here. Girl, you're 19. You and this man are not equals. He thinks of you more as a maid than as a partner, and that's not going to change. You've got a whole life to live, and you can't limit yourself to serving an older man who doesn't care about you forever. Leave. Find a job, even a shitty one for now. Find local food pantries. If you can't afford a cheap place right now, try to stay with friends. You are worth so much more than this. Nothing wrong with being a housewife, but only in a fair partnership, which this is clearly not. Go live your life. NTA, it is not normal for a 31-year-old to date a 19-year-old, and now he expects you to be a housewife at 19. Please look for another job and run. This situation has so much potential for you to become his abuse victim. He is already verbally abusing you. Yeah, I was basically thinking, you know, it's a pandemic, people get stressed, until I got to the part where he orders her around on the regular. And then to find out she's 19 and he's 31. I'm 26 and I think 22-year-olds are a bit immature for me. NTA, but I do have questions. Info: what happens if you leave the lights on? He gets annoyed at me for wasting money, and very passive-aggressively shows me how to turn off light switches. Unamused face: I just try to avoid a headache beforehand. Hey op, I want to stress something real quick. You seem incredibly smart and you have a level head on your shoulders. That does not mean you're not being taken advantage of. Fact you are being taken advantage of does not subtract from your intelligence or worth as a person. A much older man has purposefully manipulated you. It's not your fault. He swooped in and saved you when you needed it the most. It's hard to see that as a bad thing. But when you consider that he's a 30-plus-year-old man who hit on and sheltered a barely legal girl, it's hard not to think of that as a bad thing. Imagine if your friend or your daughter or just someone you cared about was in your situation. Recently got kicked out, old man comes and offers her a place to stay, who's her into marriage after only 6 months. Would you think that's healthy? Would you not feel concern for your friend? Apply that same logic to yourself. AITA for telling my brother the reality of getting married young. I'll keep it short. My brother is 19 as is his girlfriend. The two are currently engaged. She wants a quick wedding and he asked me for advice. I, 30F, got married at 18. My husband and I are still together, so I assumed my brother thought we were perfect to ask. My brother asked me what getting married so young was like, as he assumed everything would be exactly the same as it is now except he'd be married. Told him no. Everything changes. I basically told him that being married no matter your age is hard, and even more so when you're young. Every decision you make isn't just about you, but also your spouse. You combine more things such as money and you sacrifice a lot so you can reach a comfortable compromise. I said yeah, there are a lot of positives, but being married is a lot different than being engaged or just dating. I said he needed to be prepared as it was a life commitment and to only do it if you really think you can make it work. I guess he wasn't expecting my brutal honesty, as all of a sudden, the idea of him and his fiancée getting married was shot down by him. Now, I've got my parents and her family telling me how much of an I am because I'm preventing them from doing what they want to do. NTA. He asked and you delivered. Getting married at that age is something that shouldn't be rushed into, and it's good you told him straight. It sounds like if that's the parents' reaction, they expected your brother and his girlfriend to rush into a marriage he clearly doesn't want me isn't ready for. NTA, anyone who can be talked out of marriage in a couple of conversations about the realities of commitment and responsibility should not be getting married. Yay, I was gonna say. What Hop wrote in the post isn't even bad. If they're engaged, ideally they should already be thinking of themselves as a unit and making decisions for the good of both people. NTA. He doesn't want to get married so young and was looking for confirmation. At least, that's what I read from his reaction. How has he treated you since? He has been completely fine. He hasn't really been talking about it though. NTA. It's better for him in the long run to realize that marriage is not a bed of roses. Frankly, he came to you for advice and it's up to him to decide if he is going to take your advice or not. It's not like you're holding him at gunpoint and stopping him from getting married. If he's that easily swayed by you, I don't think he's ready for marriage at this stage. I said to him it is obviously entirely his decision to get married, but it is not a decision to be made lightly. AITA for telling my wife that I don't have to speak to our daughter until I feel comfortable. Found out a couple days ago that our daughter, 17F, is pregnant. I was so angry that I just went numb and walked away. I've never been so disappointed in my life. We used to be super close, but I don't even talk to her anymore. Today my daughter came over to me while I was watching TV and asked if we were still watching the Super Bowl together. I was going to ignore her, but I told her, this is the last time I'm speaking to you because obviously everything I've been telling you over the years just goes in one ear and out the other. I've never been so disappointed in my life. Told you about safe sex, condoms, birth control. On top of that, you betrayed my trust. You used to tell me everything. I argued with your mother all those times about letting you go to your boyfriend's house because I thought you were responsible and that you would come to me if anything happened. But I was wrong. So from now on, don't talk to me ever again. Anything you want to talk to me about, go tell your mother and have her pass it on to me. Later, my wife comes into my den and asks what happened. Told her to ask her daughter. She said she did, but she couldn't understand her because she was crying so much. I told her what I had said, and she got upset and said that I have to talk to her. I told her no, I already did. And I'm not talking to her again until I feel comfortable, and I don't know when that might be. Maybe never. Edit, our daughter told us she was pregnant not last Friday, but the Friday before that. Like I said, I haven't been speaking to my daughter since then, but my wife used to tell me what was going on until I told her to stop. What I've been told, small black square, the boyfriend wants to be a part of my daughter's life and raise the baby. Small black square, his family is supportive. Small black square, my daughter and her boyfriend were practicing safe sex and using condoms, but he ran out one day and they decided to use the pull-out method. And that's when I told my wife I didn't want to hear anymore. I thought you were responsible and that you would come to me if anything happened. She did. You walked away. You realize this is the kind of stuff teens kill themselves over, right? You are acting really immature and selfish and putting a lot of burden on your wife to deal with this. Grow up and act like an adult. Also, this is so damaging to your daughter. What she heard from you was my love for you is conditional. You can do things that make me stop loving you. I will not always be there for you. I will be there for you when it's easy and I feel like it. As a child that heard something similar when she was 7 years old, she will never, ever forget this. It hurts and shocks in a way you can't imagine. She will never trust you again, not really. Also, you can kiss a good relationship with your grandchild goodbye. And you probably just ruined your marriage as well as your relationship with your child. Your daughter is probably terrified. Your wife is trying to help her child, and you think the best thing is to create a whole new layer of drama and make the situation all about you. You're needed right now by the women in your life, and instead you've decided to be considerably worse than useless. Well done. ETA, if you decide to opt out of your relationships, don't expect to be able to opt back in when you get over yourself. Right now you aren't talking to her. Pretty soon it's going to be her not talking to you. Say goodbye to ever hearing her say I love you dad. Say goodbye to being called grandpa. Say goodbye to walking her down the aisle. Say goodbye to her high school graduation. Say goodbye to any life-changing big events in her life. That's your future if you can't get over yourself. She made a life-changing decision. From what you are saying, you are making her life choices all about you and your feelings. Boo-hoo, she didn't trust you enough to tell you before her mother. You know a woman who has actually been pregnant. Someone that she loves and trusts that has gone through all the emotions that come with growing a human inside of their body. From your reaction it's not hard to understand why she didn't tell you before her mom. You owe her a massive apology for your behavior. And it's only going to be through her good graces if you ever have a relationship with her again. Even if she does act more mature than you and accept your apology, your relationship will never be the same again.